Mornard needs adventurer! Why, it's you! I should have known you'd turn up on Galen. Good timing. We have plenty of trouble to go around today. I took a post as mage for hire to Count Mornard, but he needs all the help he can get. And he pays well for it. The usual. Well, more than that. Galen's beset by sea elf pirates. But these aren't the usual isolated raids. House Mornard's defending the isle as best they can, but their knights are stretched thin, and the druids are too distracted to lend a hand. Some quarrel among the circles. Never seen the druids so at odds before. But if you're willing to help, go talk to the Count's son, Sir Stefan. He's just outside Vastir, leading the effort to drive off the sea elves. What do you say, sailor? Sir Stefan is outside Vastir with Lord Baccaro, the leader of the Society of the Steadfast. Which reminds me, I've got the healing herbs he asked for. Give these to Lord Baccaro, mate. Now I'm off. Got sea elf raiders near Windrak Fort to deal with. The sea elves? Haven't spent much time in these waters, eh? The technical term is Maormer, but nobody actually calls them that. They're bloodthirsty raiders from the great isle of Piandania. We usually see a ship or two, but this bunch have a fleet. A huge one. Call themselves the Dreadsails. They're a vicious band of pirates that have been causing trouble in the archipelago for some time, but no one realized how large their fleet was. Now they seem more intent on conquest than pillaging. That would be Sea Lord Nalos. He recruits sea elf captains and offers them a place in the Dreadsails fleet. If I didn't know better, I'd say he was trying to create his own sea elf kingdom far from Piandania. Could explain our current problems. The druids of the Sisters Archipelago are divided into 3 circles: the Stone Lore, the Eldertide, and the Firesong. Usually they get along, or at least leave each other in peace. Lately, not so much. I know, mate. I was there. The Firesongs say they don't know anything about Archdruid Michiel's travels and didn't approve his actions. I don't believe them. Neither do the Stone Lore or the Eldertide. Aye, they've been spending time at Glimmerton, a Stone Lore village to the north. Laurel has also been scouting for sea elf incursions. Free rarely leaves her side. You wouldn't believe how Free has grown. Matured? Not sure how to describe it. Druid Laurel thinks it's got something to do with an old prophecy. The Eldertide blame the Sea Elves, and the Firesong refuse to explain themselves to anyone. So, your guess is as good as anyone's, mate. After our last adventure together, I wanted to do more to help Druid Laurel with her exploration of Druid history. I came back here to dust off some old books, ask a few questions. After all, Galen's like a second home to me. Remember how I mentioned that shipwreck years ago? When the Stone Lore Druids rescued me and took me in? Taught me to see the world in a new way? That was here on Galen. I set aside my cutlass for magic, but lately, I've needed both blade and staff. Count Mornard sent word to the Mages Guild that he wanted to hire a battle mage. I was already here, so the guild sent me. Not the first time I've sold my sword, or my staff. I advised the Count, and get my hands dirty when I need to. The Druids of the Sisters Archipelago are divided into 3 circles: the Stone Lore, the Eldertide, and the Firesong. Usually they get along, or at least leave each other in peace. Lately, not so much. The Eldertide resent the Breton noble houses. All outsiders, really. They believe islands belong to the Druids, and some of them act on that belief. But we've got something of a truce with them on Galen. Turns out sea elves are everyone's problem.
The Steadfast are here to aid those harmed by the Sea Elf attacks. I have no knights to lend you, Count Bernard, Sir Stephen.
We'll have to handle the Sea Elves ourselves then.
Well,
I don't know what's keeping...
if it isn't Lady Arabelle's talented assistant, I might have guessed that Galen's troubles would draw you here. What can I do for you, my friend? Ah, thank you. We're short-handed, and I haven't had anyone to send for these. As you can see, the fighting on Galen has caused no end of suffering. And most of the victims are simple farmers and townsfolk, not soldiers. Damn those sea elf pirates! For the most part. There have been some incidents among the druid circles, too, but the sea elves are definitely the biggest threat. Talk to Sir Stephen Mornard. I'm sure he can find a use for someone with your obvious talents. Young Sir Stephen is over there with his father, Count Mornard. They will readily accept any assistance you're willing to offer. Now, if you'll excuse me, the Society of the Steadfast's work is never done. The Mornards are neighbors, so to speak. Count Leonard sent word to me about Galen's troubles with the Sea Elves. I have many responsibilities on High Isle, but still, I had to help an old friend. I am trying to be in 2 places at the same time as best I can. It involves frequent voyages from Vastir to Gonfalon Bay. Fortunately, I can trust Lady Arabelle to look after the Alliance leaders when I must be absent.
Well met, adventurer. If you're looking for work, I need all the help I can get. Sea Elf raids are nothing new on Galen, but never have they attacked in such numbers. The whole southeast shore is under siege. I'm not sure. Most Sea Elves are pirates. Easy plunder is what they're usually after. But the Dreadsails are more determined than any Maormer I've seen before. Whatever their goal, we must push them back. Hand me your map. I've received reports of Dreadsails near Windrack Fort, the village of Tuin and Suncleft Cove. I need you to investigate these sightings and chase off any Sea Elves you find. Let them know Galen won't go down without a fight. Not as ready as I would like, friend. We don't have enough knights to protect the whole island, but I need information even more than I need soldiers. Find out what the Dreadsails really want, if you can, and where they plan to strike next. All 3 locations I need you to investigate lie to the east. Chase away any Sea Elves you find at the fort and the village, and see if you can figure out what they're up to at the cove. Report back to me in Vastir when you're done. Time is pressing, but I suppose it's only prudent to find out something about what you're getting into. Which location are you curious about? Well, it's an old fort, built on Windrack Point centuries ago to protect Vastir against attacks from the east. It's not in good repair, but we garrison it as strongly as we can. Yet perhaps not strongly enough. Anything else? Tuin? It's an Eldertide settlement. They have little love for House Mornard, but they like Sea Elves even less. I expected them to put up a stout defense against the Dreadsails, but we haven't heard from them in quite some time. Any more questions? Until today, I would have said Suncleft Cove wasn't important at all. It's a pretty enough spot, but there are certainly better places for the Dreadsails to land raiders. I can't imagine what the Sea Elves want there. Is that all? I leave that to you. With luck, you'll find allies at the fort or village. But whatever you do, go swiftly. If we fail to meet the Sea Elf threat now, it's only a matter of time before we see them at the walls of Vastir. My apologies. In all the excitement, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Sir Stefan Mornard, and this is my father, Count Leonard Mornard. Our house has the honor of governing the Isle of Galen for our liege, High King Emeric. It might be more accurate to say he governs Vastir and the lands surrounding the city. The northern half of Galen is mostly wilderness. Quite a few druids live there, but they look after their own affairs. Galen may claim to be a Breton holding, but the druids have lived here for centuries. Some of them don't like city folk, but they certainly defend the coast from pirates. Especially the Eldertide Circle. It's not like them to avoid a fight. One of the 3 circles of druids in the archipelago. The Eldertide live by the coast and dislike outsiders. The Firesong are recluses, keeping to old places of power. Then there's the Stone Lore. I studied with them when I was young. With the druids and with a knightly order, I suppose you could say I had a well-rounded sister's education. If you're interested, I'll tell you more about it later. Right now, I need you to check out those locations. My apologies. In all the excitement, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Sir Stefan Mornard, and this is my father, Count Leonard Mornard. Our house has the... John is my cousin. He holds title to the Mornard estates on High Isle for my father, and manages many of our mercantile concerns there. But my father, the Count, is the patriarch of House Mornard.
I thought I might see you here. Looks like a band of sea elves got ashore and seized the fort. Now more of those sea dogs are on their way. I was hoping for some druid help, but they never arrived. So it's up to us. I spotted more sea elf warships brimming with reinforcements. Luckily, the fort's ballistas are intact. Get to the ballistas and stop those ships. That will give us time to deal with the enemies who already made it to shore. I'll see if I can rally the knights and get the wounded back on their feet. We'll need them to hold the fort once you stop the reinforcements from reaching the shore. Meet me on the bluffs north of the fort when you're done. Take a right when you get into the fort. There's a path that leads down to the docks. You'll find the sea elves? Haven't spent much time in these waters, eh? A huge one. God.
Ever again. Strange to play nice with those tree lickers.
Nice work, mate. Your aim was impeccable. Well done. These dreadsails may be fierce, but they lack loyalty. Even though they've got numbers on their side, they won't stick their necks out for their mates. That's something we can use against them. Word is, the sea elves struck there as well. It's just up the coast to the north. I believe Druid Laurel of the Stonelore Circle is there, looking into things. I'd appreciate it if you kept an eye on her, mate. Laurel is like kin to me. Laurel found me half-drowned after a shipwreck 10 years back. She was just a girl then, but she had the sense to fetch help. Which is how I came to know the Stonelore Druids. She's been a friend ever since. Aye, I heard that too. Something about sea elves taking prisoners into a cave near the cove. Strange. If the Dreadsails took captives, why haven't they tried to ransom them yet? Banneret Korek went to investigate. Help him if you can.
Blight, what a slaughter. I didn't expect to see you again so soon, friend. But I never refuse the gifts that Ifray is willing to give me. I came to help the Eldertide Druids, but I was too late. This battle is already lost, Blight, take it. Sir Stefan's a dear friend of mine and practically a druid himself. We studied together under Archdruid Raval when we were younger. It's not unlike him to worry about the druids, even the Eldertide. The Dreadsails happened, but it makes no sense. The Eldertide have no riches. Druids don't care about such things, and they command formidable magic. What pirate attacks a target that can fight back for no obvious profit? Druids choose their own paths. The Eldertide of High Isle are bitter, resentful. But as long as the Mornards don't push into Druid territory, the Eldertide of Galen are content to live in peace. It was foolish of the Dreadsails to provoke them. That's strange. It makes me wonder what the Sea Elves really hope to gain by these attacks. Let's look around. Watch for anything that looks interesting or out of place. With any luck, we can figure out why the Sea Elves attacked Tuin. A lore keeper? What relic could they be searching for? The candles are still burning. The Eldertide druids who tend this altar have not been gone for long. Let's take a look in the lodge. There might be something about the relic there.
For a quick swim, right?
I was sure I was dead.
Archdruid Orlaith, what are you doing here?
Confirming a suspicion, little Laurel. Archdruid Raval was right to call the Drafa together. Tell him the Firesong will attend. The time has come to gather the seeds. The prophecy of the Druid King is at hand.
The seeds? Is that what this... Oh, Blight, she's gone. Friend, we should talk. Root and rot! That was Archdruid Orlaith, leader of the Firesong Circle. I think I know what really happened here, and I don't like it at all. The relic the Dreadsails sought is the sacred seed of the Eldertide, a gift of the last Druid King. Each circle was granted one. That's what Archdruid Orlaith meant by gathering seeds. Could she be the druid mentioned in the Dreadsails' orders? Maybe. I'm not sure why they wanted to wake free, but other Firesong tried to take the Stonelore seed right around the same time. And now this. Archdruid Orlaith mentioned the Druid King's prophecy. Could that be what this is all about? Not as far as I know. The seeds are mentioned in the dream of Cassarain, the prophecy of the last Druid King. The Firesong seem to believe its time has come. The other circles, not so much. Perhaps the Drafa can make sense of all this. A council of druids, elders from all three circles. Archdruid Raval of the Stonelore has summoned the Drafa to address grievances against the Firesong. But up till now, Orlaith ignored him. Tell Stefan about this. Pirates aren't his only problem.
I love harvesting runestones.
single sea elf bested the lot of you?
She hit us like a storm of steel. Didn't kill anyone, though. Just...
Can you believe this? I came to check on my knights when I found them indisposed. House Mornard's finest. Pah! Now, who are you? My knights tracked a band of dreadsails to the cave here at Suncleft Cove. As they tell it, however, a single sea elf tore through them before they could search inside. Didn't even bother to kill them. Just knocked them senseless and left them here. Right, that was in my report. Since Sir Stefan sent you, I could use your help. Scout the cave. We have to find the prisoners and free them. I'll follow once my knights recover. Just watch out. The sea elf who beat them is somewhere inside. Remember, we think the dreadsails have prisoners in there. Maybe some knights, but certainly druids from the nearby village. Find them if you can and set them free. We'll join you as soon as my knights recover their senses. Nothing good, that's for certain. They're pirates, slavers, murderers, thieves. In my experience, the only good sea elf is a dead sea elf. These dreadsails, though, they're the worst of their kind. Nothing like this. Isolated raids, some pillaging. They were pirates before, but now they act like a conquering army. Watch out for the one that knocked my knights senseless. She must be quite a fighter to defeat them without spilling any blood. Korik's the name. Banneret in the service of House Mornard. My family has proudly served the lords of Galen for generations. I'll bring these murderous sea elves to battle and defeat them, or die in attempt. Oh, not familiar with knightly ranks? Do they do things differently on the mainland? A banneret is the equivalent of a captain in my order. A knight who commands other knights. Looks like I've got some work to do with these louts, though. Nothing good, that's for certain. They're pirates, slavers, and you lived to tell the tale. I'm impressed. You might be able to teach my knights a thing or two. Maybe Sir Stefan will lend you to me as a training officer when this is all over.